Mosaic is brought to you by these generous sponsors and underwriters. Learn how you can support Mosaic by visiting jewishpalmbeach.org. Good morning, I'm Barbara Kay, here with Susan Portnoy, and welcome to Mosaic, Jewish Federation of Palm Beach County's weekly news magazine show.
Rising anti-Semitism, impoverished Holocaust survivors, a struggle to connect younger generations to their Jewish identity. Today, we'll have an in-depth discussion with David Shizer, the CEO of the American Jewish Joint Distribution Committee, on how Jewish Federation and its partners are responding to the most pressing issues facing the Jewish community across the globe. And then we'll talk to the leader of one particular region of Israel whose partnership with the Palm Beach community is transforming our extended family in Israel. We'll be right back with Mosaic after this brief commercial break.
Our lives are made of memories, but when those memories start to fade, your happiness shouldn't follow. At Morse Life's Memory Care Residences, your loved one is safe and secure with the very best care from our staff who are specially trained to work with memory loss. The greatest luxury of all is the peace of mind that awaits at the gold standard Memory Care Residences at Morse Life. Find the life you love again. Secure your lease today. The Memory Care Residences at Morse Life.
Please consider supporting Mosaic's generous sponsors at Bruce Gendelman Insurance Services. Visit gendelman.com today for your expert consultation.
The all-new Bremen Porsche, a world-class experience.
Club Bremen is amazing.
World-class dedication.
It's the most exciting thing. I recommend it to anybody. I don't care what your skill level is.
World-class excitement.
I think it's a great brand. These cars are designed to go this fast.
World-class performance.
They took me out to the track to race the car. Anyone that wants to get a Porsche, Bremen's the place to go.
The all-new Bremen Porsche, a world-class experience.
Jewish Federation is rolling out the red carpet for you on March 8th for one night, a celebration of impact. Featured speaker Mark Platt is an award-winning theater, film, and TV producer whose projects include Wicked, La La Land, and many other modern-day classics. One night is taking place at the Palm Beach County Convention Center and features special receptions for Jewish Professionals Network and major donors to Federation. Learn more and RSVP now at jewishpalmbeach.org/one night. We're here with David Shizer. He's the CEO of the American Jewish Joint Distribution Committee, a mouthful, better known as the Joint or the JDC. He's also the former Dean of Columbia Law School. Welcome to Mosaic.
Thank you, Susan. Pleasure to be here.
So why did somebody in the legal world, you were Dean of the law school actually for 10 years. Mm-hmm. Why did you make that transition to Jewish communal work?
I've been so lucky in the things that I've gotten to do, and I love the work that I did in education. I'm also a tax lawyer, and I'm surprisingly passionate about the corporate tax rate, for example. Okay. But having said all that, it is rare in life to be able to do work that immediately affects the lives of really disadvantaged people, and that's the privilege that I have now.
Tell us about your Jewish journey. I understand that you have some sort of story with the history of the JDC in your background.
So I am named for a grandfather who died 10 years before I was born. And although we have the same name, his life couldn't have been more different from mine. He was born in a little town in western Ukraine. When he was a pretty young boy, his parents died. He had two younger siblings, and his grandfather was raising the three of them. But then when he was 17, his grandfather was lynched in a pogrom. So he was left raising these two young children. And then the Russian Revolution happens, there's a civil war in Western Ukraine, and there actually was a day when the Tsar's people, the counter-revolutionaries, came to the village, and when they didn't find any communists, they decided to line up a bunch of Jews, including my grandfather, and they were about to shoot him. And then some communists showed up, and they're shooting at each other, and my grandfather and the others managed to get away, and that was the moment when he realized that he needed to come to America. So he and his siblings did that. And so as a result, I got to live the life that I've led. I've had a very difficult life as a New York Mets fan, but putting that aside, basically I've gotten to do all the things that I wanted to do. This is an amazing time to be alive, but I've always been struck by how incredibly different my life is from my grandfather's life. And it's not because of anything I did. It's because of the choice that he made, the choices that my other grandparents and great-grandparents made. And I've always wanted to be able to do something. And the point is that my story is very common. It's not unique at all. In every Jewish family, there are stories like this. It's just a question of how far back you go. And the point is, for some people, it's happening now. And so I feel very lucky to be a part of a community of people that is dedicated to helping those people.
Wow, you certainly are passionate about your story and your commitment. Tell me, as CEO, what are your priorities for the JDC?
So I think that our mission is a timeless mission, saving Jewish lives, building Jewish life. But the way we pursue the mission, well, that has to change all the time. So I've been working with our team to make significant changes in our planning process. We've gone to zero-based budgeting. We're looking, each of us, to make a case for the things that we want to do going forward. We have to find the data that we need in order to make sure that it has the maximum impact. And so I think another way to say this is the same mission, but smarter.
And how do you partner with our federation to help save the Jews around the globe?
So I think it follows from what I just said. Really, this partnership, the partnerships that we have with federations, they're fundamental to what we do. They're fundamental not only because of the wonderful funding that they provide, but more fundamentally because of the shared values, because really our missions are the same. And what I think is so important and so valuable is there's also a lot of sharing of ideas. And so we think of our federation partners as thought partners, and that's really, really quite valuable.
What do you believe are the biggest issues that Jews around the world are facing?
So I think that there are three things that both excite me and keep me up at night. And the first is that there are desperately poor Jews around the world, and in particular in the former Soviet Union. This is a place where you'll find the poorest Jews in the world. The second area where I think is both exciting and scary is the future of the state of Israel, because the economic miracle in Israel is inspiring. And at the same time, there are large segments of the Israeli population that haven't participated in that economic miracle. And in order for the boom to continue, we have to bring them in. Third thing that I think a lot about is the fact that there are areas in the world with hundreds of thousands, even millions of Jews, where the spark of Jewish life nearly was snuffed out. And I'm thinking in particular Eastern Europe, the former Soviet Union, and we have generations of Jewish people, especially young people, who want to embrace their tradition, who want to reconnect. And so we are part of the process of making sure that that can happen.
So can you tell us a little bit about how you do this? What is the process?
Absolutely. So it's amazing that in these parts of the world, there are Jewish people who didn't even know that they were Jewish. It's a very common thing. I remember landing in Odessa for the first time and meeting a colleague who'd run our operation there for a long time. And I said, what was it like to grow up as a Jewish kid in Odessa? And she smiles and she says, I have no idea. And I was puzzled. And she said, because my parents didn't tell me until I was at university. Her father was in the Soviet military. This wasn't something anybody wanted to share.
They needed to survive.
Right. And the point is that for her, it became her professional and personal commitment, not only for herself, but for everyone in her community who wanted to live as a Jew, to have the opportunities to live a rich Jewish life. And so that's what we do.
We are going to discuss more with David Schizzer after this brief message. Coming up, more from our discussion on the biggest issues facing the global Jewish community with the CEO of the JDC.
Please consider supporting Mosaic sponsors at Lesser Landy & Smith. Visit lesserlawfirm.com to learn more.
Your vehicle deserves world-class service. Here at Bremen Motor Cars, you can drop off your car with confidence that you will receive the highest quality service from our certified technicians and Bremen Motor Cars staff. Take advantage of our complimentary cafe, Starbucks coffee, and customer lounge equipped with Wi-Fi while you wait for your vehicle. Yet another reason why you should join Club Bremen. A world-class experience is the Bremen Motor Cars difference. Now at West Palm Beach and Jupiter.
Interested in a different kind of Israel travel experience? Join dozens of local community members for a personalized journey through Israel during the country's 70th year of independence. Israel Your Way is Jewish Federation Community Mission to Israel in June 2018. 5 immersive tracks will explore Israel's technology and innovation, arts and culture and cuisine, spirituality and religion, politics and security, and even a track for first-timers and families. Learn more and sign up while there's still space at israelyourway.org.
Live the way you want to live, in the luxury you deserve. At Morse Life's Tradition, choose a floor plan that suits your lifestyle and make it your own. Impeccable service and the gold standard in specialized signature healthcare. Live healthy. Live happy. At Tradition is where the living is easy, every day and in every way. Your home. Morse Life. Tradition.
We're back with David Schizzer talking about Eastern European Jews and how the JDC is assisting them. Particularly St. Petersburg, you have a very large presence, and our federation twins with them there.
Palm Beach is an important, really a crucial partner in the work that we do in St. Petersburg. And I have to say, this is inspiring work. Because if you're looking for the poorest Jews in the world, you can find them. They're these elderly Jews in the former Soviet Union. They were living as engineers, as doctors, as missile scientists, but that was in the Soviet era, and the Soviet pensions were wiped out, and so now they're living on pensions that frankly are as low as $2 a day. And at the same time, these people are alone because 1 million Jews left the former Soviet Union for Israel, for the United States, for Europe, and so you have Jewish people. You go to their apartments, they're living in unbelievably difficult conditions. And at the same time, what you see is a tiny apartment covered in books, because these people are just like us and they were professionally successful. This is their situation. So with the Palm Beach Federation, with our other partners, with the Claims Conference, the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, we're able to provide food and medicine and home care, and we give people a more comfortable life, the kind of life that they deserve to have.
I'm sure the visits are just so welcomed by the elderly because a lot of them are alone.
Well, I have to say that for me, it's one of the high points of this responsibility, is getting to spend time with these amazing and heroic people. And I bet I'm not the first to say this to you, but they look just like your grandparents. It's the same Jewish family.
What about the young population in St. Petersburg? What do you do to provide for them?
So this is one of the most inspiring parts of our work, because the truth is, Judaism for that generation is new. They're rediscovering it because their families haven't been connected to Judaism. And we've started, for example, a youth group, which is really BBYO. It's BBYO in the former Soviet Union. It's called Active Jewish Teens. We started with 30 kids in Kharkov in Ukraine. We now have 3,200 kids just 4 years later. And these young people are hungry for a connection to Judaism. They're excited to be a part of the service that we do. They help our elderly clients, they do learning, they do social activities. It's amazing.
You also have some camps, sleepaway camps. You want to talk about that?
So we have an incredible place called Szarvas in Hungary, just outside Budapest, and it is a magnet for young Jewish people in Eastern Europe and the former Soviet Union. And this is a place where so many of the campers didn't even know that they were Jewish until their parents told them they were going. And they arrive, and there are 1,600 other Jewish kids from around the world. 22 languages are spoken. And you go there at lunchtime, and they're standing on tables singing Hebrew songs at the top of
Oh
their
my goodness,
lungs.
that's got to be so invigorating.
It's unlike anything I've seen.
There's a lot of discussion about young Jewish adults and how disinterested they are as a whole in Jewish causes. You apparently don't feel that way. Why is that?
So I think what we know is that bringing that generation of young people into the Jewish communal world is essential. And I think we know that the strategy to do that has to be a bit different than what was successful with their parents and grandparents. But the good news is that there are things that excite them. This generation of young people, for example, is so passionate about international humanitarian work. They're idealistic, they want to get involved. And so one of the things that JDC has done is to offer service opportunities. You can go on a 10-day trip. You can go to Ukraine. You can work in a soup kitchen. You can go to St. Petersburg and mentor these young people and active Jewish teens. You can go to Cuba. You can do all of these things. And what we've found is that when young people go on these service trips, they realize that something they love, humanitarian work, is rooted fundamentally in the Jewish values that made them who they are. And once they realize that, then they're excited to be a part of Jewish communities.
They're obviously very effective. Tell us about your connection, JDC's connection to Israel. We're celebrating our 70th year, Israel is, as a state. And what do you do there?
So I think our job is to help perfect Zionism, because really the idea of a Jewish state is not just a country for Jews, but a country where Jewish values are expressed in the most powerful way. And the state of Israel is very committed to caring for its vulnerable populations, but it's not an easy thing to do well. JDC's responsibility is to be their partner, to come up with new ideas, new ways, for example, to help kids at risk. We have an amazing program called Ashalim that's been around for a long time. We will come up with a new idea. The Israeli government will fund most of it, but our donors will fund some of it, and we'll test the idea for, say, 8 years. If it works, then the state of Israel will take the idea, scale it up, and apply it to the whole country. So really our role in Israel is as close to a venture capital portfolio as you will find in social services.
Can you give us some examples of your programs in Ashalim?
So one example is community courts, and this is an idea that actually comes from the US. You have some people who find their way into the criminal justice system, but the best approach for them is not punishment, it's counseling. And so what we've done with the Israeli government, with different municipalities, is to create an alternative track for people in that position to try to counsel them back to the kind of life that they should lead and that will make them happy. And the program is really working. It's exciting.
I've actually met some of the people in the program, and they've become so excited about it that they become mentors
Right.
to the. You do a tremendous amount of wonderful work, and we appreciate everything you do, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Coming up, how the Palm Beach Jewish community is transforming a region in Israel.
Our lives are made of memories, but when those memories start to fade, your happiness shouldn't follow. At Morse Life's Memory Care Residences, your loved one is safe and secure with the very best care from our staff who are specially trained to work with memory loss. The greatest luxury of all is the peace of mind that awaits at the gold standard Memory Care Residences at Morse Life. Find the life you love again. Secure your lease today. The Memory Care Residences at Morse Life.
Jewish Federation is rolling out the red carpet for you on March 8th for one night, a celebration of impact. Featured speaker Mark Platt is an award-winning theater, film, and TV producer whose projects include Wicked, La La Land, and many other modern-day classics. One night is taking place at the Palm Beach County Convention Center and features special receptions for Jewish Professionals Network and major donors to Federation. Learn more and RSVP now at jewishpalmbeach.org/one night.
The all-new Bremen Porsche, a world-class experience.
Club Raymond is amazing.
World-class dedication.
It's the most exciting thing. I recommend it to anybody. I don't care what your skill level is.
World-class excitement.
I think it's a great brand. These cars are designed to go this fast.
World-class performance.
They took me out to the track to race the car. Anyone that wants to get a Porsche, Raymond's the place to go.
The all-new Bremen Porsche, a world-class experience.
Interested in a different kind of Israel travel experience? Join dozens of local community members for a personalized journey through Israel during the country's 70th year of independence. Israel Your Way is Jewish Federation Community Mission to Israel in June 2018. 5 immersive tracks will explore Israel's technology and innovation, arts and culture and cuisine, spirituality and religion, politics and security, and even a track for first-timers and families. Learn more and sign up while there's still space at israelyourway.org. Our guest today is Ofer Zafrani, Israel Chair of Partnership Together in the Zahar region. Welcome to Mosaic. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Welcome to be here.
First of all, can you tell us what Partnership Together is?
Yes, Partnership Together is a living bridge between 2 wonderful communities in Palm Beach and in Tzahar region. Tzahar region is Tzfat, Chatzor, and Rosh Pina in the Galil. And actually, it's our way to have connection with our family, Jewish here in Palm Beach, and do wonderful project together, because we believe that we have to be in this connection because we share the same destiny. As a Jewish people, we have to make our connection deeper, because if we have a diaspora that connect to their Jewish identity, we have a stronger Israel. And this is the essence of our connection, the essence of the partnership of us almost or more than 20 years that it's going on.
You live and work in the community. Can you tell us, what do you do?
I'm the principal of the biggest school in Tzahar region. I have students from Tzfat, Chatzor, and Rosh Pina. More than 1,000 students. A very unique school because I have students that are not Jew, Arabs, Muslims, Christians, Circassians, and of course religious and unreligious. And as a principal, I was part of the partnerships because we have a lot of common projects together with the partnership. For example, a great project is the twinning between us and Meyer Academy here in Palm Beach. Our my 8th grades are in connection to the 8th grades here in Meyer Academy.
They come here. Your school comes here, and the Meyer Academy 8th graders eventually go to Israel.
Exactly. And we have the ambassadors, and the young ambassadors that coming from Israel to Palm Beach to explain Israel, to be involved in the community here. So for me, being in the partnership, for me taking the role of the chair of the steering committee in Israel, it's almost like a mission. It's a true calling, because I really believe that we are in a time that we have to rethink about our partnerships in a way that, Israel is 17, she's celebrating 17 years old. And Zionism achieved her goal in establishing the state of Israel. Israel is quite strong. It has a good army, an ethical education system, a stable economy. And now I think this is our turn to give back to all the Jews in the diaspora that did everything for us. And now it's our turn.
What are some of the issues that are unique to the Zahar region?
The Zahar region is very complicated. It's different. It's far different from Chatzor, different from Rosh Pina, by the fact that we have communities that struggled to live. There is a problem of employment in our region. There are a lot of poor people that they're a student study in my school. But we have a very special thing going on between all the Tzachar region. It's the connection to the Jewish people, and this is very, very spiritual area. You know, the Kabbalah Center is in Tzfat,
yes,
and it's a beautiful area. So I think that what we are doing in Tzachar region and the connection that we have with the partnership, it's a great opportunity to strengthen the bond between us and the Jews here. And I think we have a lot to give in this connection. And this is what we are going on willing and continue doing for the last 20 years.
Can you tell us some of the programs that we are doing together to help the region?
Yes, for example, we have a common project of ELP, Young Leaderships, started here in Palm Beach. We duplicate it into our region, and they are doing wonderful things in the region. They are bringing new audience to the talk about being Jew, to the fact they need to understand and to be exposed that the way that we live in the diaspora is different. For example, all the Jews in Israel, almost all the Jews are Orthodox, and they are less familiar from the Reform way of living. One of the things that we do, we are bringing them into this knowledge, and this is very important because I remember first time when my student was in one of the projects of coming to here, and he saw a rabbi woman with a talit, he was shocked. And this is one of the mission that we are bringing different perspective to the children. The twinning between schools is a wonderful thing. I'm as an educator believe that connection and interaction between people is the best way to connect people. I know that we have technology and we have many ways to do it through officials and greater programs, but face-to-face
human
program
connection
is the best way. This is the experience. This is kind of the thing that they'll never forget.
Well, thank you very much for all that you do and for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
Mosaic is brought to you by these generous sponsors and underwriters: